All right, Shalom. I want to start by saying, call halal, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Israel, aka the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. All right, real quick, as the title reads, and came across this article, and it was about Microsoft. I don't know if I seen it on the brother's social media or I seen it on a regular Google search engine, but basically I came across it, and it basically was talking about Microsoft, and I came across another article where it's about Nissan, and basically both of those companies are laying off some of the employees. And actually, right here it says the amount of employees that Microsoft is laying off right now. It says it's 3% of their workforce. We know 3 is understanding, but this is also, and I think they said it's like 7,000 employees that it represents 3% of the workforce. And also remember too, they said in 2023 they laid off like 10,000 employees, that's like what, 2 years ago. So they're going to show how what the Lord said in the prophecies, the grind shall cease, and I'm gonna get it. But I'm read these articles real quick because this is going to become a normal thing. You're going to have more companies, more businesses laying off their employees, and the reasoning. Because I also came across something on I believe it was on the wealth Instagram page, and it basically talked about this guy. He was a some engineer, I believe. What the fuck he said? I forget what engineer he said he was, but basically he was like a computer engineer type nigga, and his salary was like 150 or 180,000, and basically AI took his job, and he said it's been hard for him to find a job. So I think he said he's been Ubering and like DoorDashing and shit like that. So that just goes to show that the grind is season because there are few. And now if more companies are laying off, because why? It's the AI takeover. Remember what Elon Musk said? 80% of the workforce cut. It was a video I posted it on my YouTube as well. Obama was talking about how AI was taking over fast. So this is something that they've been talking about for a while, and this is something that's ultimately what is prophecy of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, because he got to bring the grind and seed somehow. He has to bring the MOTB somehow, and this is how he's going to do it. He's going to have these devils crash their economy, their current financial system, and usher in a new digital system, which entails will have people have to get the MOTB down the line. All right. So read this article. So that says Microsoft to lay off 3% of workforce, report says. Now this is from Reuters, and they reported from this is on CNN Business, CNBC report. It says Microsoft is laying off 3% of its workforce, or roughly 7,000 employees. CNBC reported on Tuesday, which was 3 days ago. It says as the technology giant looks to rein in costs while funneling billions of dollars into ambitious bet into its it says as a technology giant looks to rein in costs while funneling billions of dollars into its ambitious bet on artificial intelligence was AI. The cuts will be across all levels and geographies and are likely the largest since Microsoft laid off 10,000 employees in 2023, according to the report, which cited a company statement. The company let a small number of employees go in January over performance-related issues, but the latest cuts are not related to that and are focused on trimming management layers, the report said. Microsoft did not immediately respond to Reuters' request for comment. The company's stock was slightly lower in morning trading. It says, as artificial intelligence emerges as a major growth engine, big tech has been pouring money into the space while slashing costs elsewhere to safeguard profit margins. See what? They're going towards the direction of AI. It says rival Google has laid off hundreds of employees in the past year as it looks to control costs and prioritize AI, media reports have said. It says Microsoft's reported move comes weeks after the company posted stronger than expected growth in its cloud computing business Azure, which is part of Microsoft, obviously, and part of the AI shit. And it says, and blowout results in the last quarter, calming investor worries in an uncertain economy. Which means what? They feel that AI is going to be direction so they can still make bank. Because it says Microsoft's report move comes weeks after the company posted stronger than expected growth in its cloud computing business Azure, and blowout results in the latest quarter, calming investor worries in an uncertain economy. Because I think the first quarter just ended of the year. Because it's May, right? Yeah, May. We're in the so-called 5th month of the year. So the first quarter, the quarter that just passed, January, February, March, April, they said that they had good deals with the AI shit. And it says calming investor worries in an uncertain economy. It says the company had a total of 228,000 workers with 126,000 employees in the United States at the end of June last year, according to its annual filing with the U.S. SEC. So from last June to now, they fired, what, 3% of the workforce? So now that in 2023, they already had let go 10,000. So this is last year. So they had what? Excuse me, what it said, 228,000 workers. So if they just let off 7,000 and 10,000 they let go in 2023. So they had, and they said 126,000 employees are in the United States. So they let go of a major amount of their employees from 228,000. No, excuse me, they had more. Because they said they had, this what they had at the end of June last year. But they said they already let go to 10,000 in 2023. So let me get a scripture real quick. So it's the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 3, and I'm reading King James. It says, "And the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few." What? Who are the keepers of the house? These motherfucking economists. These people that's heavy into the financial business and the knowledge of financial stability and all that stock shit and all that, man. Those are the keepers of the house, because you've been having already for a few years now. They've been saying that we're expecting a collapse soon, an economic collapse, an economic downturn. So those are the keepers of the house, and it says they shall tremble. So they're trembling because what? They don't want it to happen, but they know it's inevitable. They see it coming because why? They have set of information that we don't have. So they could foresee certain things when they see certain things happening in the market and consumership and the shit going throughout the world, all that shit, the global economy, all that shit, man. There's so shit going on with the tariffs. They could foresee how things will go based off how it's going in the present moment. And it says, "And the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened." Now, this is verse 4. And it says, "And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low." But you know what? I'm going to read that in the NLT because the 4th verse in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 4 hits a little different because it actually has a little modern sound to it. So, this is the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 4, and it says, remember who's him? The Lord. Remember YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. And remember the Lord said these things, man. Now we're seeing these things happen. We're seeing the prophecies unfold. So it says in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 4 in the NLT, it says, "Remember him before the door to life's opportunities is closed and the sound of work fades." What did he just say? Microsoft, what is that? One of the top tech company, Bill Gates' brainchild, it says Microsoft to lay off 3% of workforce, report says. Now that's 3% of the workforce that's presently. But remember, in 2023, they already had let go 10,000 people. And now, they said effective immediately, 7,000 employees, 6 or 7,000 employees. They're about to let go in the future, in the very near future. And it says because of why? Because of AI, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is taking over. That's how the grinding shall cease. The Lord is having these devils use their technology, this computer shit, all that. That's how the grinding is going to cease, because they're going to have the computers do most of the work. So they're not going to need humans, or so which means in part they're not going to have to pay humans, but they're still going to profit because we're still going to have to buy and sell. You see how that works? All right, and they're going to have complete control over the AI system because why? It's going to be their system, and it's going to be a digital currency. It's going to be no more cash, no more coins, no more barter system. It said he calls it, matter of fact, because that's going to what? That's going to bring in the MOTB. So hold up. Gotta get it. Matter of fact, hold up. Let me see something. Now, there's the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16. It says, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, with all that was going on, getting rid of the cash, getting rid of the coins, making everything digital, in part, what's going to come in after that? He's going to cause you to have to get it implanted in your hand or in your forehead. That's thus saith the Lord. That's prophecy speaking. This is prophecy. This is all prophecy which you're seeing take place, whether it be in America or abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. It's all according to the biblical prophecy of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, the holy scriptures. Nothing else explains it. Nothing else explains it and explains it to a T. And you got these other religions, these other doctrines, they're not talking nothing about their no prophecy of their gods and how it ties into everybody that's on the earth, you know? And it says, verse 17, it says that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And that no man might buy or sell. So he's going to cause everybody to buy and sell with what? The Michael C. hip. Digital currency, CBDC. One world currency, man. That's the plan. And they're carrying out as we speak. Every day they're getting closer to ushering in this new system. But they have to get rid of this current system first. Okay, let me get to the second article, which ties into this. Fuck. Okay. Nissan. Now, real quick, here it is, an AI overview, because if you go to Google, now they have an AI overview, which is a new AI feature. It says, Nissan is planning to cut 20,000 jobs globally, including the earlier announced 9,000 job cuts, as part of a broader effort to reduce costs and improve its financial situation. This includes the closure of 7 factories. So this is in present. It said this includes the closure of 7 factories and a 20% reduction in manufacturing capacity. The company is struggling with weak sales in both China and North America, particularly due to lower than expected demand for hybrid vehicles. All right, now that's the AI overview. I guess it's all the same, but I'm gonna go to BBC. Now this is from BBC, and it says Nissan to cut 11,000 more jobs, because what, they already cut the 9,000, so that's in total 20,000. And it says Nissan to cut 11,000 more jobs and shut 7 factories. What? Factories 7 is what? Completion. So here's the article. So yeah, this is from BBC. BBC. And it says, Japanese carmaker Nissan has said it will cut another 11,000 jobs globally and shut 7 factories as it shakes up the business in the face of weak sales. So what? Weak sales? Because what? People aren't buying cars like that. Well, at least not Nissans. And it says falling sales in China and heavy discounting in the U.S. Oh, what did the scripture say? Oh, it says, hold up. Laments for her. Now, that's what I thought it was, Revelation 18. All right, I'm in Revelation. Boom, 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 boom. Now, now this is for the actual destruction that's coming. But when you really think about it, what's leading up to the destruction is not going to be all prosperous before it's destroyed. The Lord is breaking America, aka Babylon the Great, aka the daughter of Babylon, down. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 18. And I'm gonna start at verse 7, because when you listen to guys like Donald Trump, they talk. You listen to these Edomites, so-called white people, and these other nations. They make it seem like America is just gonna be around forever, but it's not. And the Lord, and before the nuclear destruction comes to this place, the Lord is gonna break down this place to where it's not gonna be what it once was. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 7, and it reads, "How much she have glorified herself." Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at the top. Now this is Revelation chapter 18, verse 1, and it says, "And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen." Babylon the Great is America. "Is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird." Now, that's ultimately talking about the actual physical destruction. But before it's actually physically it's physically, and before it's annihilated completely, the Lord is going to break this place down. And that's what's happening right now, because now it's not as prosperous as it once was, even for the other nations. Henceforth, look at what's happening with Nissan. It said with the whole shit with the U.S. It says, verse 3, and it says, "For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies." Matter of fact, I'm gonna go to that. Now, all right, I'm at NLT now. So this is Revelation chapter 18, verse 3 in the NLT. It says, "For all the nations have fallen because of the wine of her passionate immorality." So what? Her immorality, which is America's immorality. And look how they influence the world. Sheer wickedness, man. Look, I remember seeing I just seen in India where they had like a alphabet community kind of function, or whatever. And India. And they try, and they put, and besides that, they put the immorality throughout the whole earth, man. That's why everybody knows about twerking. That's why everybody knows about fucking bullshit and the rap, hip hop, and all that shit, man. That all sparked from America. Now it's going throughout the four corners of the earth. And that's just two little things I mentioned. But it says, "The kings of the world have committed adultery with her." Because why? They taking on her influence, man. Everything that America does, these other nations emulate. Starting with what? The dress. How they dress. Oh, and ultimately, what? The money system. They all had to trade oil with the dollar at one point. So it's just this place is the place. That's how you know that America is Babylon the Great, and that's how we know it's falling, because why? They're not as drunk as they once were. The nation are sobering up, because why? The Lord is destroying this place. The Lord is destroying the winery, destroying the wine press of this place. So they can't, metaphorically speaking, they can't give off that drunkenness no more like they once were. It says, "Because of her desires for extravagant luxury." Now remember, Saudi Arabia. I think he was like one of the Saudi Arabian princes, or the Saudi Arabian prince. He said he despised that he had Trump visit there, because why? It said he just liked the limelight. He liked the luxurious things. He just wanted to be seen. And that's what it said. It said, "Because of her desires for extravagant luxury," Trump is the president of the Babylon the Great. It says, "The merchants of the world have grown rich." Because why? They've grown rich from America, man. Look at that. Look at the economy. Look at how the nations all the consumership from America throughout the whole earth, man. China, Korea, India, Japan. All these countries, what they were made rich off of America, the consumership of America, man. That's what Trump was on. That's why Trump doing all those tariffs, because what? All these countries were made rich off us. Canada. You look at the things in your house, the things that's around, they're mostly not made in America. All right. So I'm gonna jump down. Hold up. I'm gonna go straight to the destruction now. Actually, no, I'm gonna jump down to verse 7. It says, this is Revelation chapter 18, verse 7. It says, this is King James part. It says, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and she shall see no sorrow. That's how, hey, if you look at Trump is the mouthpiece for America. Trump, if you listen to Trump, you would think that America just gonna be around forever. Even as fucked up it is right now, he's still in his pride and loftiness and his haughtiness. He's still saying that, yo, we're good. We're doing good. We're just fine. But America's not just fine. Look at the citizens of America. Are they just fine? Are they fine? So I'm going to NLT. In the NLT of Revelation chapter 18, verse 7, it says, she glorified herself and lived in luxury. So match it now with torment and sorrow. She boasted in her heart, I am queen on my throne. I am no helpless widow, and I have no reason to mourn. But now the Lord is going to be giving you reason to mourn. Because now what? These low-level Edomites are mourning right now, and soon enough it's going to get to the high-level Edomites, the elites. Hey, these government officials, the keepers of the house, these people that's not as elite as the like Rothschilds and all that, they're trembling right now, man. They're mourning. Cause they seen that America is through. You had this one Edomite lady talk about like, yo, it's over. And America can't get itself out of the hump that it's in because the Lord put him there and the Lord put her there. And she's going to stay there until what? She's consumed with that fire. Speaking of fire, and that says Revelation chapter 18, verse 8, and it says, therefore shall all her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, who judged her. And how's that fire? How's he going to use that fire? Those nuclear missiles. Those nukes that everybody talk about, nuclear capabilities, nuclear submarines, drones and all that shit, missiles, this, missiles, that. Hypersonic ballistic missiles, ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles. Those are all going to be the instruments of the Lord's wrath that he's going to bring upon America. And then the fire that YAHAWASHI and the host of heavens is heaven's armies is coming with, man. Can't forget that. Can't forget about YAHAWASHI. But even before YAHAWASHI completely annihilates this place, the Lord gonna have these devils nuke each other and have these heathens nuke each other. So this is the NLT now of Revelation chapter 18, verse 8, and it says, therefore these plagues will overtake her in a single day. Death and mourning and famine. She will be completely consumed by fire. She's going to be completely consumed by fire, that nuclear fire. For the Lord God, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, who judges her, is mighty. Verse 9, it says, lament for Babylon. And that is what these other nations. Because you know Japan, China, all that, as time goes on and America is made less and less, as the YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI breaks down America more and more, these other nations are going to get broken down more because this is how they were, it said that this is how they were made very rich. All right? And it says, Revelation chapter 18, verse 9, it says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her, which means cry. It says, when they shall see the smoke of her burning, because they're going to see, all right, now their prosperity is over. And then when they see YAHAWASHI take this place out, because, you know, the missiles going to hit it with mad body shots to where, like, yo, it's going to be on one leg. And when YAHAWASHI and the angels come back, that's when he's going to knock them on their ass. That's what's coming to this place. And he's knocking them on their ass right now. Because America wasn't what it once was. Remember, the Lord said it sat as a golden cup in the Lord's hand. But now it's no more. Now it's no more of that. So this is the book of Revelation chapter 18, verse 9 in the NLT. And it says, and the kings of the world who committed adultery with her and enjoyed her great luxury will mourn for her as they see the smoke rising from her charred remains. That's all about when they see America destroyed. Because they're going to know, like, damn, the jig is up. What are we going to do now? And then when they see, like I said, when they see YAHAWASHI, they're going to know that, man, they see the YAHAWASHI deliver the elect. Once they see the elect get that power, get that glory, that he comes down with heaven and redeems in the earth, The elect redeems them out of the earth. Imagine that's why they're gonna cry. They're gonna be like, yo, it's over for us, man. And they're gonna know that it's the people that they call niggas, they call spics, the ones that they made a lot of their money off of. What they said, what the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the biggest consumers in America. The black dollar, the black vote. Everything is about Jake and how they can profit off of Jake. That's why the Lord said, what? You should be smitten by the hand of your enemies, man. That the stranger shall get high above thee. Oops. Child remains. Okay, this verse 10 of Revelation chapter 18, it says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour thy judgment comes. So they're going to be saying, damn, no more America. And they're going to lament because they're going to know, like, damn. It's going to be like, damn, what now? What now? Because their bread and butter was America, man. Think about it. Said America is the #1 importer of goods. So all these other nations, they were made rich from America's consumership. The buying. All right. So this is the NLT now, Revelation chapter 18, verse 10, and it says, they will stand at a distance, terrified by her great torment. They will cry out, how terrible for you, O Babylon, you great city. In a single moment, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI's judgment came on you, man. And that's what's about to happen. This place is going to get consumed by fire. This place is going to get a nuclear destruction. The first and last ever. A land that shall not be inhabited no more. It should be made wildly desolate. This place, it said what? It's going to be for the clean and unhateful birds. Clean and hateful birds. What it said? In verse 2, it says, Babylon is fallen. So it says, and he cried mightily. This is the angel. It says with a strong voice saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And we go into NLT, it says, he gave a mighty shout, Babylon is fallen, that great city is fallen. She has become a home for demons. She is a hideout for every foul spirit, a hideout for every foul vulture and every foul and dreadful animal. What? It's evil spirits now. Foul spirits here now. Look how people conduct themselves in America, man. Pure evil, man. Pure wickedness. And all these other nations come over here to be made rich, to make themselves rich over here, man. I'm looking at a bunch of Elamites now, so-called East Indians. And they all over here living luxuries. And here you got our people living in the ghettos. You don't see these Elamites, none of these other nations, they be in the ghettos. But no, it says what? It says what? The stranger shall get high above thee, man. Roughly paraphrasing. So now the Lord is about to chop these heathens down because now their security is up. Now they no longer shall live at ease. The Americans shall not be at ease. Oh yeah, here we go. This is verse 11. It says, this is Revelation chapter 18, verse 11, and it says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Hey, look what happened with Nissan. U.S. consumership is low now. Now you go into verse 11, Revelation chapter 18, verse 11 in NLT. It says, the merchants of the world. Isn't Nissan a merchant of the world? It says, the merchants of the world will weep and mourn for her, for there is no one left to buy their goods. Because now, what? Nobody's buying Nissans no more. All this tariff shit and all this shit is fucked up. And it says they will weep. They're going to weep. They're going to weep. They're going to cry. I'm going to read that again. It says, Revelation 18:11, it says, the merchants of the world will weep and mourn for her, for there is no one left to buy their goods. No one left in America to buy their goods. America is done. And nobody can stop it. Nobody can stop it. As time goes on, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. Worse and worse and worse. This shit ain't no game. This shit is, I said Babylon is falling. It's falling. Which means that, and the Lord is not going to be raised back up. It's not, Esau's never going to rule again. These heathens are never going to be over the Israelites again. All right? But that's it. Microsoft, Nissan, everything going digital now. It's over. So, with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm going to give all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, KAKADASH. Double honors to the powers of Israel, aka the powers of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. Shalom.